which factor or which one you call it the status of the group? I have told you yesterday. Mean is the status of the group. So mean of the two groups will be equal in case of equal groups. In case of non-equal groups, that may not be. So while making equal groups, that you select some standardized test. What is standardized test? The standard tests are which have reliability, validity, objectivity, and usability. There are four characteristics of the standard test. If in case of non-availability of a standardized test, suppose you prepare a test which can be administered. So while preparing the test, what happens? The test may not be, say, proper, though you consult with many experts and validate it and determine the reliability of the test, still there is some error in preparing the test. So when the test is not proper, so the experiment will not be accurate. That is the one limitation. Then where will you conduct the experiment? You will conduct the experiment with the school students, learners of a particular class or particular grade. But you have to study the situation, the climatic condition, particularly the school atmosphere, the attention of the young learners, and the behavioral problems of the learners. If you give the long tests, so what happens? Number of items are more. They are easily distracted. They may not respond to all the items in time. So that is a limitation. So in preparing the test and in administrating the test. And other factor is limitation is that you generate knowledge through research. In the experimental method, there must be empirical study. What you observe, that you have to interpret. But what about the problem solving? What about the intuition? What about the reasoning? What about the other factors? That factors will be kept aside. So this is another limitation. It may so happen out of reasoning the intuition comes, and when the intuition comes that you believe certain persons or babas because of their intuition, they can predict your future performance. Experiment also predicts the future performance. It also controls the many variables. It also helps for understanding. But intuition is such a psychological trait which can be ignored in the experiment. There is no place of intuition in the experiment, the research. At times, what happen? At times, the intuition does some miracle because you when you go to a say saint or a great Baba, out of the intuition he can say something of you, and you are pleased. That is called intuition. So, in case of this, the Intuition is totally kept aside, and the methods, another limitation, other methods are not allowed. Survey method, history method, or observation method, any other method is not allowed. Only experimental method. So other methods have certain values in predicting the effect of one variable on others. Now also there is mixed research, educational research, quantitative and qualitative. Why do you say like this? You have the population, means all the individual are taken into consideration. Do you understand this point? All the individual in respect of a particular psychological trait are taken into consideration, you call it population. Suppose there are thousands of boys and girls reading in class 8. So all the students taken into consideration are called population. The population has certain characteristics that is called parameter, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and so on. If intelligence will be taken as one of the traits, and if you consider the population, the mean IQ of the population is 100, 100 IQ. The standard deviation is 15. So it has been already uh, determined. So with fixed, there is no question, uh, but the sample that you take in the experimental method, you always take the sample, a portion of the population, considering that sample is the representative of the population. Sample has certain characteristics, is called statistics, mean, median, mode, etc., etc. So we determine that how far the parameter mean, a sample mean is equal to parameter mean. It must may be equal, may be less. Why? Why it becomes why the value of the or the characteristics of the sample is less than the uh, parameters of the populations? Because of the biased sample, because of the faulty method of selection of the sample, so the reading may not be correct. That's why, and there are the theories of knowledge is called epistemology. Epistemology has no place in the experimental method. One is called a wise man, and out of his wisdom, he can say many things, and that happens. What experiment says that wisdom also is one of the factors which also determines many things. Wisdom does not mean that out of reasoning, out of experience, out of understanding, that one has developed the wisdom. So, first knowledge, then knowledge is processed in the brain with proper understanding, and we call it wisdom. Then, the beyond physics, it is called metaphysics. So, oh, these are the limitations of experimental method. Could you understand or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir. ସାର୍ ମେଟ୍ରାଫିଜିମ୍ଟା ଆଉଥିଲି।
Metaphysics.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
Hmm? What is physics? It studies the reality. Okay? Physics always studies the matter or the reality. But what happens after the reality? Nobody can say. What after the death? That is the area of metaphysics. A surgeon goes to the operation table and salutes God, pray God. Why? Is it not metaphysics? Some power is there which can guide you, which can control you, so that you can proceed in the right path. That is metaphysics. Beyond the reality, what you see, that is may be real, may not be real. Do you understand? Was asked metaphysics? Hello. Metaphysics ବୁଝିଲ ନା ନାଇଁ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ହଁ ତାହେଲେ ତ ବହୁତ ଗଲାଣି ସମୟ ଅଯଥା ପାସ୍ କରିଯାଉଛି ମୋ ଯୋଗୁଁ ସମୟ ପାସ୍ କରିଲା ତାପରେ ନଲେଜ ଜେନେରେସନ ହିଷ୍ଟୋରିକାଲ ପର୍ସପେକ୍ଟିଭ୍ସ ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି ପଜିଟିଭିଷ୍ଟିକ ପାରାଡାଇମ that is paradigm a change positivistic in a positive way there is a change of knowledge so knowledge derived what you observe the empirical study you see the tree and tell that, that this is a tree or that is a tree. We receive the many senses through our sense organs, and the senses are carried out by the nervous system to the sensory part of the brain, and the interpretation takes place. It is just so quick. Within a fraction of a second, when you open your eyes, you will come across with the senses through your visual organs, and immediately it carried out by the nervous system to the sensory part of the brain, and you can say that he is a man, he is a that is a cow, or that is a table, that is a fan, that is a book, and so on and so forth. So this happens so quickly, it is very miracle. We cannot describe it. That and when you say something, also the commands come from the brain, and through our vocabulary, the vocal cord, the various concepts are converted into sound through our mouth. So that is a way of the observing the many things. When you say cow has certain characteristics, yes or no? A cow has certain characteristics or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So you say cow. That is positive based paradigm. What the empirical study, what you observe, and the observation is accurate, should be accurate. At times, what happens? Uh, you find a rope and interpret that there is a snake. Have you come across such experiences? अरे
Yes, sir.
पाଳ ଦଉଡ଼ା ଦେଖିକିରି ଆମେ ସାପ ବୋଲି ବେଳେ ବେଳେ ଭାବୁନୁ କି?
Oh, sir.
Have you come across with this
ଆଜ୍ଞା
such
ସାର୍।
experience? What is that called psychologically?
Illusion.
Illusion. And you will find, have you come across with mental patients? Anybody of you? have come across with mental patients? They can create stories out of nothing. There is no basis of it. That is called hallucination. So these are the psychological terms. That is called hallucination. They can create many things. So this is not positivist paradigm. The illusion or the hallucination, these are not positivist paradigm. What you observe or see or hear or feel or taste, then we call it the objectively, in the objective manner, you can interpret the concepts. Sweet sound, particular song, you have heard already. The apperception, that is called your apperception. In the light of your past experiences, you interpret this. There are some axioms which cannot be uh, proved again. That is also positivistic paradigm. Axioms need not require any sort of experiment or anything else. So this is positivist paradigm. Then that aspects of positivist paradigm, difficulty in precise meaning. So everybody see a particular object or a particular incident, phenomena. Rather, you can say phenomena, ghatana. You come across with the many phenomena, but accurately, objectively, or precisely, everybody cannot tell. ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ ବେଳେ ପଡିଛି ଯୋଉ ଯେ comprehension type questions ବେଳେ ସେଥିରୁ question ବି ପଡେ ବେଳେ ବେଳେ. So objectively you have to define. So the preciseness of a particular story, that is depends on your the brain. Then assumption behind the positive the paradigm, that is determination has been which helps you prediction and control. The empirical evidence, the pursuing the or explaining or general, these are the assumptions that as we are telling that inductive method of teaching, deductive method of teaching, this is also paradigm. These are the assumptions, and also the empirical study. Unless you ଯାହା ନ ଶୁଣିବ ବେନି ନୟନେ ପରତେ ନ ଯିବ କଣ ଗୁରୁ ବଚନେ, ଯାହା ତମେ ନିଜେ ସ୍ୱଚକ୍ଷୁରେ ନ ଦେଖିଲ ତାହାକୁ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିବ ନାହିଁ, ଏୟା ତ କଥା. That is the paradigm. So it must be empirical value, predict value, or inductive in nature, deductive in nature. So these values, these are the assumptions for paradigm. The knowledge generation under positivist paradigm, that I have told you two things: the parameters and statistics. Population has certain characteristics, already has been determined earlier. We cannot change it. That is called parameters. What I have told you, again I tell you, the mean IQ of the population is 100. This is parameter. The standard deviation is 15 IQ. That is parameter. So if you go plus standard one standard deviation and minus one standard deviation 85 or 150 IQ. Okay, मन रखुଛି ତ 100 ହେଲା mean ଆମେ ତଳକୁ ଯିବା 15 ଉପରକୁ ଯିବା 15 ମାନେ 85 ରୁ 115 ଭିତରେ କେତେ ଲୋକ ରହିବେ 2/3 of the total population lie between the IQ 85 to 115 IQ. Okay, so these have been determined much earlier, so we cannot deviate. Similarly, the in the positivistic paradigm, we generate knowledge. Always we determine the various characteristics of the variables. These variables can determine 1 minute, please. Phone ta koi.
तेरह चौदह पंद्रह तारीख रे क्लास होइतला कि किए कहिबे तेरह आउ चौदह पंद्रह तारीख रे किछि क्लास होइतला कि
So we determine the
ସାର୍ ଅନମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଭଏସ ଆସୁନି।
हाँ ଆସିଲା ଗଲା କି hello.
Yes, sir.
आगे सर आगे सर
So the characteristics of the population, the sample, we estimate the characteristics of the sample with the characteristics of the population. So we come to the conclusion whether there is a sample is appropriate or not, or there is error, and so on and so forth. So the paradigm, positive paradigm, also enables the learners to generate knowledge. The limitation of positive paradigm that we have already uh, explained about the limitations of experimental method. This is also applicable to it. And alternative approach to development of a social science inquiry. One of the approach is phenomenology. It comes from the word phenomena. It comes from the word phenomena, phenomenology. So through social science, we study many phenomena. The social systems or educational systems. And we find out the mean, median, mode, and etc. The characteristics of the sample. So and also compare between boys and girls, compare between urban and rural area, and so on and so forth. All these things can be compared. Then methodology. The again phenomena is not equal to etymology. I have told you etymology, the typical characteristics of a particular area, cultures, the tradition, etc. That through etymology we can study it. Then critical overview of the approaches already. The case study method we have discussed. Review of the rethinking concept construct. How? What is concept? As I have told you, खाली genesis की जाइए तब second unit की जीवा. Concept is the generalized idea about a particular object or event or a person. Suppose a chalk. Chalk is a concept. It has certain length, it has certain color, it has certain function, and so on. So all the characteristics of a particular object. This is object. Chalk is an object, and it has certain characteristics, and all agree to the characteristics. Concept of 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. All agree to this. There is no deviation. Or a plus b the whole square. A square plus 2ab plus b square. This is a concept. Then construct. The concept may be derived, or concept already has been derived. In all the various the Gita, Bhagavat, and etc., all these things, you will find so many things. Concepts. If you go through Ramayana, I mean Sadale Koja Ramarajya. What is that? Kusasana, Susasana. Very relative term. These are the concepts. The concept has been already defined earlier, much earlier. So, the way of life, how to maintain the life skills shall be developed, that has been determined earlier by the great saints. Either the concept may be either it is derived now or already has been derived. That is called your concept. Suppose truth, beauty, and goodness. Satyam, Shivam, Sudram. It has eternal truth. These are the concepts. Have you seen these three concepts? Truth के देखी सकते truth. Have you seen it? Have you seen the truth? Hello.
No,
No, sir.
Have you seen the
No,
Amrita?
sir.
no,
Have you
sir.
seen Amrita? Nobody. Nobody has seen. But we compare with Amrita. Amrita Vani. So already derived it. These are the incident through which we can say that this is the truth, this is the beauty, this is the goodness. Beauty always lies in the observer's eye. Am I right or wrong?
Right, sir.
Beauty always lies in the observer's eye. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Beauty does not mean that the appearance, black or white, that is not the concept of a beauty. That is, you have to see the beauty in ugly things. That is the beauty. ସୁନ୍ଦର କଥା ଯୋଉ କହୁଛେ ଆମେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ତା କଥା ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ସୁନ୍ଦର ସୁନ୍ଦର ଅର୍ଥ ନୁହେଁ ଯେ ଭଲ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ସ୍ମାର୍ଟ ହେଇଥିବ ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ ସେ ସୁନ୍ଦର that is not, but his behavior is not acceptable. ସେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ମାନେ କ'ଣ ଅଛି? ଅଛି କିଛି ମାନେ? ଆରେ ତାର ସେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ମାନେ କିଛି ଅଛି?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So these are the concepts, generalized idea about the object, event, or person. This is the concept. Either you can derive the concept or it has been already derived. In case of construct, it is unseen. That you can feel the particular the concept. Rather, you can say, suppose intelligence is a construct, psychological construct. To follow my point, intelligence is a psychological construct. Have you seen it? Have you observed the intelligence? Yes or no? Hmm. But you can pass comments. He is an intelligent boy. He is a less intelligent boy. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
କେମିତି କରୁଛ ଜାଣୁଛ? How do you arrive at the conclusion? Because when the behavior is the sum total of activities, the behavior is the sum total of activities relating to your cognitive, affective, psychomotor domain, social, moral, emotional values, emotional aspects with respect to the environment. ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ପରିସ୍ଥିତିରେ ରହିଲେ ଯୋଉ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକଳାପ କରୁଛେ ସେଇଥିରୁ ଆମେ ଅନୁମାନ କରି କହୁଛେ ଯେ your behavior is satisfactory, your behavior is not satisfactory. Am I right? It must be socially acceptable. Your activities must be socially acceptable. Some are involved in the antisocial work. Some are very selfish in nature. They are asocial. ତାଙ୍କ ନିଜ କଥାରେ ଥାନ୍ତି, ସେ ଅନ୍ୟ କାହା ହାତରେ ମୁଣ୍ଡ ପୁରାନ୍ତିନି। ନିଜେ ଭଲ ରହିବ ତ ଦୁନିଆ ଭଲ, ଅନ୍ୟ କଥାରେ ମୁଣ୍ଡ ଖେଳିବା କଣ ଦରକାର? ଏଭଳିଆ ଲୋକ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି। But most of the individuals in the society, more or less, they think for others. So that is social value. So what I have told you that the construct, the various psychological traits, that is called traits, psychological trait which cannot be observed directly, but it is reflected or manifested in activities. You are interested for a particular game, means you like that particular game and you want to be a football player. That interest. Your attitude towards a particular game. I like to see football game or cricket, actually the popular game of India. So I like it. I witness, say through TV, I witness the game. So when the more involvement is expressed in a particular activity, it is called interest. Do you follow my point? There is a very or little difference between attitude and interest. That is, these two words cannot be kept in two watertight compartments. A hairline difference. Both the constructs, attitude is a construct, interest is a construct. Both express the liking or dislikingness towards object, event, or person. हाँ कुह
ନମସ୍କାର ଘରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି?
हाँ
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଗୋଟେ ଚିଠି ଆସିଛି ଦବାକୁ ଆସିଥିଲି ଯେ ସେଠି କଣ ସିକ୍ୟୁରିଟି ଫିକ୍ୟୁରିଟି କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି କଣ ଫାଙ୍କା ପୁରା
କୋଉଠୁ ଆସିଛି
ଉତ୍କଳ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟିରୁ
ହଁ ହଉ ତୁ ରଖିଥା ମୁଁ ପରେ ନେଇ ଆସିବି ଏଠି
ତମର ଏଇଠି ଥୁଆ ହେଇଛି
ହଉ 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 ହଉ
ତାଙ୍କ ରେଜିଷ୍ଟର ଏଠି ତ କେହି ସିକ୍ୟୁରିଟି କଣ ନାହାନ୍ତି
ହଉ
ରେଜିଷ୍ଟର ଭିତରେ
हो
ଏଇଥିରେ କଣ ଦିଟା କଣ କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି ସିକ୍ୟୁରିଟି?
ରାମ ରାଜ୍ୟ
କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି ସାର୍, ମୁଁ ତ ଏଠି ବୁଲୁଛି କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି।
ହଉ
ରହିଲି ସାର୍।
ହଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ହଁ could you understand what is the construct? It is a psychological trait which cannot be seen but can be manifested in activities. Intelligence is a construct, interest is a construct, attitude is a construct. Okay? It is clear or not? Concept and construct. Hello. Do follow? Do you hear me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
कॉन्सेप्ट
Yes, sir.
विषय जान कि नहीं कह मत हाँ तुम साइलेंट हो जान पार तुम प्रकृत बुझी पार कि नहीं कॉन्सेप्ट बुझी पार
Yes, sir.
कन्स्ट्रक्ट बुझी पार ना कहू ना कौन हाँ कि ना कहले तुम नहीं
Yes, sir.
कह आउ
Yes,
थे
sir.
रिपीट करी हाँ
ସାର୍ ଟିକେ ବୁଝିପାରିଲୁନି ସାର୍।
बुझी पारलनी कन्स्ट्रक्ट दि साइकोलॉजिकल ट्रेड्स अर्थ आम भितर जो गुण बली गुड़ाक अच्छी सबू बुझीला आम भितर केते गुण अच्छी जो जीन्स जीन्स आर द कैरियर ऑफ द ट्रेड्स फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स टू ऑफस्प्रिंग बाप माँ अधे आने फादर साइड मदर साइड बाकी चलता से इनफिनिटी पर्यंत गुण गुड़ाक आम नहीं आसे सेटा हूँ गुण आमर साइकोलॉजिकल साइकोलॉजी पॉइंट आम भितर जो रही सबू विभिन्न गुणर अधिकारी आम मैथमेटिकल इंग्लिश साइंस सॉन्ग ड्रामा these are constructs these constructs can you see it इंटेलिजेंस कहले तुम देखि पारुछ इंटेलिजेंस को
No, sir.
नो इंटरेस्ट को देखि पारुछ
No, sir.
No.
नो एटीट्यूड को देखि पारुछ नाही
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No.
किंतु केतेबेले जानछ ना जेतेबेले इट इज मैनिफेस्टेड रूपांतरित होउची विभिन्न तार एक्टिविटी रे गोटे पिला चित्र करिया को भल पाउची दैट मीन्स ही हैज द पेंटिंग कंस्ट्रक्ट जेते चित्र करूची तार सेते हम जानू जे नै पिलाटा एई कंस्ट्रक्ट भल अछि पिला जेते गीत बोलुची जानू जे हां एई पिलाटा भल गीत बोलुची नल ता खाली देखै देला हम जानि परिबानी से गीत बोलुची कि भल ड्रामा करि पारि कि भल डिबेटर की and so many innovative ideas are also there with the children so these are called construct एबे बुझिल कि नहीं कुओ मते
Yes, sir.
बुझिल तो
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
so the many characteristics we have how many characteristics do you imagine how many characteristics we have approximately 25,000 okay approximately 25,000 characteristics or qualities rather you can say out ke layman's point of view le 25,000 qualities we have ke bathroom singer ke stage singer ke classroom singer no so singing is a construct but it varies from person to person so सेमती का आम पाखरे 25,000 गुणर अधिकारी आम सब तमें आम कही परियानी जे तुम पाखरे एई गुणटा नाही बोले अछि समस्त पाखरे सिचुएशन अनुसार आम ताको एक्सप्लोर करूछ when you are placed or put in a particular situation that kind of quality can be say ascertained then objectivity you know subjectivity and you know also objectivity that accuracy आमे कहूचे ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस means the question which has one and only one answer is called objective type questions. For example, if I ask you, Delhi is the capital of dash, then कौन लिखिबो? Delhi is the capital of dash.
India.
India.
କାହିଁ ଦିଲ୍ଲୀ? ତାର ଦିଟା ଆନ୍ସର, ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟେଟ ର କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି ଆମ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିର କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ. ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ ଟାଇପ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ସ. ଏଠି ଲଗେଇବାକୁ ପଡିବ ଦିଲ୍ଲୀ ଇଜ ଦ କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଅଫ ହ୍ୱିଚ୍ ଷ୍ଟେଟ, ଷ୍ଟେଟ କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଅର ଦି କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଅଫ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଇଜ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଅର ଡ୍ୟାଶ. ଲଗେଇଲେ ଯାଇକି ସେ ଆପ୍ରୋପ୍ରିଏଟ ଆସିବ. Well, it has two answers, dual answers. So it is not objective type questions. So similarly, the objectivity means pinpointed towards the answer must be pinpointed. Whatever question is asked, the answer must be pinpointed. For example, ମୁଁ ପଚାରିଲି ତମକୁ what is reflection? କହିବ when a ray of light, जो से definition ଟା କହିବ. So that must be objectivity is maintained. If any word is missed from the concept or the definition, then we cannot say it is objectivity. So the objectivity always same for all. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, it is objectivity. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, it is objectivity. अरे मेरे को जब न्यूटन्स लॉ कहले जेमती anybody any object thrown from a distance of the earth, it is attracted towards the center of the earth, that is central gravity, that is objectivity. Whenever we conduct experiment, that is objectivity. So for educational research or physical research or natural researches, objectivity should be maintained. It must be same for all the individual. Setting कहले sample has certain characteristics, population has certain characteristics, then generalization, that out of certain examples we derive a particular rule or theory. It's generalization. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ତିନିଟା ଟ୍ରାଙ୍ଗଲ ଟାଣୁଛେ ତାକୁ ତିନି କୋଣର ସମଷ୍ଟିକି ମିଶଉଛେ, ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟ୍ରାଙ୍ଗଲ, ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଟ୍ରାଙ୍ଗଲ, ଥାର୍ଡ ଟ୍ରାଙ୍ଗଲ, it becomes 180 degree. ତାହା ହଉଛି generalization, right? So the generalization is accepted by all the individuals. ଆମେ ସଦାବେଳେ କହେ they speak the truth, it is not generalized. Be benevolent, it is not generalized. Be honest, it is not a generalized idea. So be punctual, it is not a generalized idea. So out of certain characteristics we come to the conclusion at least 3, then the generalization বা সিদ্ধান্তিকরণ যাও কହୁଛେ ଆମେ. Then the nature of a reality, reality is something subjective and objective in nature. So if I give the example that that I have told you that when in the cup of sorry in the glass, half filled glass of water, when a glass rod is immersed, it appears to be bent. Is it real? Is it real or not real? Virtual?
Real, sir.
It is not
Real.
କେମିତି ମ ଗ୍ଲାସର ଟଙ୍କା ବଙ୍କା ହେଇଥାଏ? It
ନା
appears
ସାର୍
to be
ଭର୍ତ୍ତି
କହିଲି ପରା, it appears to be bent କାହିଁକି ନା ତାର ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଫିକ ରିଜିନ ଅଛି। So the reality varies from person to person. What is real for you, what may not be real for me. And there are some absolute reality. What I have told you, truth, beauty, and goodness, punctuality, honesty, etc. They are absolute reality. And some concepts are there that are relative. You interpret the particular concept according to your own way. I interpret the particular thing in my way. So ଆମ ଆଖିକି ଯାହା ଦେଖାଯାଏ ତାହା ସତ୍ୟ ନୁହେଁ ନା, ହଁ ନା ନାଇଁ? Various phenomena that you observe may be real or may be unreal. Particularly in the summer season, you can see it appears that at a distant place there is just like a water. It appears to be water there in the
ମିରେଜ
ପିଚୁ ଦେଖାଯାଏନି mirage. Is it real? It is not real. It is the law of the nature, a law of the science. So reality may be subjective or may be objective. It depends on the various phenomena. Okay? So we believe, some believe the reality in terms of God or goddess, Atma, Paramatma, ityadi, ityadi. That is real for them. Those who are atheist, nastika ଯୋଉମାନେ, materialistic, that reality is somewhat different. ସେମାନେ ଜଳକୁ ଦେବତା କହିବେ, ଆମେ କହିବା ନାହିଁ, ଦିଟା two parts of hydrogen and one part of oxygen chemically combined becomes one molecule of water. ଏହା ତ କହୁଛେ ଆମେ. This is real for us, science. ସେମିତି ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ଯାଉଛ ମନ୍ଦିରକୁ ଯାଉଛ ବା ଲୋକେ ସବୁ ଦେବତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ସବୁ ତାକୁ ଅଧିଆ ପଡନ୍ତି ତ. Have you heard this particular word?
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆରେ
ସାର୍।
ସାର୍
ହଁ,
ୟେସ୍ ସାର୍
ତାଙ୍କର ଧାରଣା ଯେ ଏଇଟା ଭଲ ହେଇଯିବ. That is reality for them. And what I have experimented in my life, that those who are my perception, ମୋ ଦୃଷ୍ଟିରେ, ଦୃଷ୍ଟିଭଙ୍ଗୀ ଯାହାକୁ କହୁଛେ ଆମେ, my perception is that if you concentrate on God or goddess, your willpower will be developed. And due to your development of willpower, your diseases will be cured up. That is my perception. When science fails, and you'll find that miracle happens and the disease is cured up. Have you come across with such situation?
ୟେସ୍ ସାର୍
ଆସିଛ ତ, ସେମିତି ଦେଖିଥିବ ତ ସବୁ. ସେମାନେ କହିବେ ଯେ ନା, ଆମ ଯୋଉଠି ଔଷଧ ଏତେ ଖାଇକି କିଛି ହେଲାନି, ଆମେ ଦେବତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଶରଣ ପଶିବାରେ ଆମର ହେଲା. ତାର ଅର୍ଥ ହଉଛି, ମୁଁ ମୋର ଦୃଷ୍ଟିଭଙ୍ଗ ଅନୁସାରେ, ଗୋଟେ ତମର ଇଏ ୱିଲ୍ ପାୱାର ଡେଭଲପ କରିଯାଏ. ୱିଲ୍ ପାୱାର ଡେଭଲପ, ଇଟ୍ ହେଲ୍ପସ୍ ୟୁ developing the immunity power. When immunity power develops, diseases are cured up. ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ତାର କ୍ରନିକ ଡିଜିଜ ଅଛି, ସଦାବେଳେ ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଛି ମୁଁ ମରିଯିବି, ସେ ମରିଯିବ. ସେ ତାକୁ ୱିଲ୍ ପାୱାର ଯଦି ଡେଭଲପ କରିଦିଆଯିବ ତାର ମନରେ, ଯେ ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ତମର କିଛି ହେଇନି ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ବଞ୍ଚିବ ତାର ସେ କିଛି ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚିବ। ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଡାକ୍ତର ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ତାଙ୍କର ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଦିଆଯାଏ କି ନ ଦିଆଯାଏ କହନ୍ତି କି ନ ଦିଆଯାଏ। କିଛି ଡାକ୍ତର ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ୱିଲ୍ ପାୱାରକୁ ଡେଭଲପ କରାନ୍ତି। ଏଇଟା ହେଇଛି ଏଇଟା କିଛି ହେଇନି ନିଅନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଲେଖିଦେଉଛି ଭଲ ହେଇଯିବ। ସେ ଡାକ୍ତର କଥାଟା ଶୁଣିକିରି ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ୱିଲ୍ ପାୱାର ଡେଭଲପ କରେ। ସେମିତି ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯାଉଛେ ଗଡ୍ ଅର୍ ଗଡେସ୍ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ନେଚର ଅଫ ରିଆଲିଟି କଥା ଆମେ କହିଲେ ଆମେ that it varies from person to person. ହଁ ନା ନାଇଁ? Yes or no? The
Yes, sir.
reality
Yes,
ହେଲା
sir.
what is real for me may not be real for you. May not be. Then varied studies of education, relationship studies, correlation studies, developmental studies, the over the years, etc. ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ପଢିଦବ କିଛି ଏମିତି ନାହିଁ। And understanding the studies, that is the qualitative study. Suppose you want to study the lifestyle of the criminals or antecedents of a criminal in the where will you go? Go to the jail. And ଆଗରୁ ଭାବି ନେବ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନାର ଗୋଟେ କରିନେଇକି ଯିବ ସେ କାହିଁକି ଜେଲକୁ ଆସିଲା କୋଉ ପରିସ୍ଥିତିରେ ଆସିଲା। So all these antecedents ସବୁ ତମେ ଟିପି ଟାପିକି ଆଣିକି ତାପରେ ତମେ ଲେଖିବ these are the causes for which he has become criminal. So all these things, this is qualitative studies. Understanding means qualitative studies, that is studies in education combination of the perspective. ଦେଖିଦବ ବହିରେ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା କିଛି ନାହିଁ। ଆମେ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ୟୁନିଟ୍ କି ଯିବା। Different types of studies. ଦେଖ ପ୍ରଥମେ ହେଲା ତମର descriptive studies. Study ଅର୍ଥ ଅନୁଧ୍ୟାନ ମନେ ରଖ ସଦାବେଳେ। Reading and studying are two different concepts. It is deep study, reading with deep understanding is called your study. Reading with deep understanding. You may read superficially, but when there is a understanding, reading कला पर कुआडे चली जाए ब्रेन को चली जाए ब्रेन गला पर सेठी अंडरस्टैंडिंग टेक्स प्लेस and you develop reasoning, then you interpret. So then first is your descriptive studies. In the descriptive studies I have told you yesterday that it determines the present status of the various variables. The achievement of mathematics of class 8 students as on today, achievement of English of class 9 students as on today, either urban jibo, rural jibo, male jibo, girls jibo, boys jibo, सब jibo. So it studies the present status and determines what is the present status. जो କଥା ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ସର୍ଭେରେ ଯେ ପଞ୍ଚମ ଶ୍ରେଣୀ ପିଲା ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ଶ୍ରେଣୀର ପାଠ ପଢି ପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି କରିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି। Survey indicates more than 50% students are unable to do the learning academic activities of class 2. What is the reason behind it? Neither the government is responsible, nor the parents are responsible, nor the teachers are accountable for this. ତାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଆକାଉଣ୍ଟେବୁଲ କାହିଁ ଲଗେଇଲେ? ମୁଁ ପାଠ ନ ପଢେଇଲେ କେତେ ଯାହା ଥରେ ଚାକିରି ପକେଇଲା ମାନେ ପଇସାଟା ଘରେ ଆସି ଥୁଆ। They do not think of that the common people pay tax for this and they get salary. So ଆଜି ଗୋଟେ ବିତର୍କ ହଉଥିଲା ମୁଁ ଦେଖୁଥିଲି regarding the admission procedure. ଗୋଟେ ଭାଣ୍ଡ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଏଜୁକେସନ ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟରେ IS हूँ OS हूँ जहाँ whoever may be तमें तो कहल मल्टीपल एंट्री एंड मल्टीपल एग्जिट व्हाई डू रेस्ट्रिक्ट ऑन एज से 6 वर्ष पढ़ू कि 7 वर्ष पढ़ू क्लास 1 रे व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम फॉर यू से पिला पढ़ी करी जीवो ताको रेस्ट्रिक्शन कले तार गोटे 1 ईयर तार नष्ट हो जाउछ so that restriction should not be there they don't realize the practical problems of the learners of the society education एवं health ये दीटा सेक्टर आम सोसाइटी रे सबुठु एक दयनीय अवस्था रही in a measurable condition you will agree to this point so descriptive studies always describes the particular the characteristics of the either population or the sample. What are the characteristics? The characteristics of the population is called parameter, manadanda. What is the characteristic of the sample? Is called statistics. Sample is a portion of the population. If there are 80,000 or 10,000 or 8 lakhs learners are reading in a particular class, we take 500 to 400 students for our study. The 400 to 500 students which we undertake, that is called your sample, a portion of the population. बुझेला बुझेला सर्वे कथा बुझिल कि नहीं आगु
Yes, sir.
होला the types of survey coverage of population and units of respondent if it covers all the population then population study then time of event stages event studies particular year रे आमे कथि कले after the end of the year ताले year event wise nature data methods involved what is the nature of the data what is the method that we use and also purpose of the study सेतु प्रथम देला तमरो census survey in census survey all the individuals are taken into consideration मन रहला in census survey all the individuals are taken into consideration is it clear yes or no
Yes, sir.
yes
Yes, sir.
suppose सर्व शिक्षा अभियान से गोटे एग्जांपल देछि सर्व शिक्षा अभियान means education for all it was introduced in the year 2001 I think like that समस्त जीवे स्कूल को वर्तमान एजुकेशन इज द फंडामेंटल राइट if सर्व शिक्षा अभियान has been introduced what is the impact of सर्व शिक्षा अभियान आमे गोटे पर्टिकुलर ईयर रे नेले और टुडे ताले कोन करबा केते पिला क्लास 1 रे एडमिशन करले केमि जानिमा सेही पर्टिकुलर एरिया रे केते पिला के सेही वर्षर जन्म होइथिला आगो देखिबा गोटे फॉर्मूला अछि सेही पिला गुडा को समस्त एडमिशन करछंती ना नाही जेतु किछि जे मरि इथे भलो कथा जेतिक रहिले जे बंचिगिरी सेही माने स्कूल को गले कि नाही जदी गले तल सर्वशिक्षा अभियान इज सक्सेसफुल जदी न गले इट इज फेलुअर यस और नो अरे हां कि नाही
Yes,
बा
sir.
Yes, sir.
एंड एई सर्वशिक्षा अभियान पे आमे कोन करूचे ना विभिन्न प्रकार बही मागणा रे दउचे साइकिल मागणा रे दउचे ड्रेस मागणा रे दउचे मिड डे मील भी दउचे टू अट्रैक्ट those students to pull से दीटा वर्ड लगोची pull and push we pull the students from the society through सर्व शिक्षा अभियान and we push the समाज को छाड़ी दउचे अधारु पिला छाड़ी कि पळौछंती we push them to the society because of the school climate because of the uninteresting teaching learning process because of it is not viable or it is not useful for their life. ଆମେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଜଙ୍ଗଲରେ ରହୁଛନ୍ତି ସବୁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଟ୍ରାଇବାଲ ପିଲା ରହୁଛନ୍ତି ଜଙ୍ଗଲରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯଦି ତାଙ୍କ ଭାଷାରେ ଆମେ ପାଠ ନ ପଢେଇବା ସେ ମୋଟେ ସ୍କୁଲକୁ ଆସିବେନି ଏବଂ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଏଗ୍ରିକଲଚରିଷ୍ଟ ରହିଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯଦି ତାଙ୍କ ଭାଷା ସଙ୍ଗେ ସଙ୍ଗେ ତାଙ୍କର ପ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟାଲ ପ୍ରଫେସନ କ'ଣ ଅଛି ତାକୁ ପଢେଇବାକୁ ପଡିବ ନହେଲେ ସେ ସ୍କୁଲକୁ ଆସିବେନି so many factors are responsible for Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Then the strength of census survey. Strength is all individuals are taken into consideration. What is strength? So the characteristics of all individuals are studied. All these things. So we can interpret the result. Limitation, it is not possible to cover all the individuals for the study. That is one limitation because it is time consuming and it is also expensive. So for these two factors it is not possible to conduct the census survey. Then your sample survey, I have told you what is sample. What is sample? Tell me. बारंबार मुझे कथा कहूची. A portion of the population selected considering the representative of the population is called sample. बुझिएला? A portion population of the 10,000 के 20,000 नेहला ताले आमे sample 200 के 300 नौचे. ସେଇ 200 300 ଯୋଉ ସାମ୍ପଲ ନେଲେ କ'ଣ କନସିଡର କରୁଛେ ଆମେ ଭାବୁଛେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ସାମ୍ପଲ ବାଛିଲେ ଆମେ ସେ ତାର କ୍ୟାରେକ୍ଟରିଷ୍ଟିକ୍ସ କୁ ଏଷ୍ଟିମେଟ କରିବ କାରଣ I have told you population has certain characteristics that is called what is it called parameters. The sample has certain characteristics, it is called statistics. So it is very easy to conduct the research on the sample. What are the advantages? Why do you take the sample survey? So definitely it is reduced cost, less cost. नले आमे 20 की लक्ष लोक पिलांग पे आमे क्वेश्चनर करिबा केते पैसा खर्च होबा आमे 300 पिलांग अल्प पैसा खर्च होई जाउछ. So reduced cost and also greater speed. More time is not required, more speed. It also greater scope, बहुत scope भी नहीं परिबा और greater accuracy. With this we take the sample. Then question here comes, there is a question for the sample survey, whether the sample drawn the population is represents the same with the high probability or not. जो sample हम नेले 200 की 400 ता प्रकृत रे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैला कि नहीं पॉपुलेशन ना सेटा देखिया पड़िबो. तापर whether the tools employed for data collection is correct or not. जो क्वेश्चनर ते टूल सेठी कोन क्वेश्चनर जो टेस्ट हम तैयारी कले whether it is befitting or not. थर्ड दला whether appropriate analysis ठीक होच ना नहीं, whether probability of finding are generally stable or population, all these things. So example of a sample survey, that is attitude of the parents towards the midday meal in the primary school, causes of dropout among a distance learner as perceived by the teachers of IGNOU, attitude of a university student towards information and a communication technology based education, teaching competency of primary teachers, physical facilities of a primary school in a backward district of the state. These are the, say, uh, sample survey. Various problems can be taken, no doubt. Then cross-sectional survey. The cross-sectional survey is understood the kind of sample survey where standardized information is gathered from sample drawn from the cross-section or predetermined population at a point of time. Hence, sample respondent represent different district segment population stages of development events across the state. Across the state, when the uh, survey is conducted, then you can say cross-sectional study, male, female, urban, rural, uh, then tribal, non-tribal. So cross-sectional. Over all the variables are considered. Then single variable study. You may take the single variable. Suppose you want to study the intelligence. It is single variable. You want to study the achievement in mathematics, single variable. You want to study the achievement in social science, the single variable. बुझेला? Then many variable study. If you take more than one variable, it is called many variable study. Then the longitudinal survey, that are over the years. Vertical. Longitudinal survey is the over the years. If you, what was the uh, status 10 years ago, what is the status of today, or throughout the year also longitudinal survey you can conduct. That the horizontal, longitudinal means horizontal. It is a trend studies, panel studies, cohort studies. Trend studies, what is the trend? Suppose the teaching method of teaching. Now the trend is activity method of teaching. This trend study, whether the activity teaching method is followed by all the school. The panel studies, for studies you have to uh, the attitude of the particular group of students toward the school education, urban niyo kimba rural niyo, it is a panel study. The cohort study is over the periods time. Different samples are drawn from specific population over different phases, data collection, etc. ବିଭିନ୍ନ ସମୟରେ ତମେ ଯାଇକି ତା କରିପାରିବ. Comparison between cross cultural and survey and longitudinal survey. Just you go through the book and get the idea. Then what else? Comparative study. The comparison takes place between the male education and female education, boys education and girls education. It is a comparative study. Comparison between two variables, boys one variable, girls other variable. Mathematics and English, two variables. Comparison between mathematics, the same boy, the mathematics ଗୋଟେ group ନେଲା, mathematics ନେଲା, ସେଇ group ଟା ନେଲା, English ନେଲା, ତାକୁ comparison କଲ. In which subject the group achieves better score. What is the status of the group? What is the status of the group? I have told you many times. Tell me, what is the status of the group? Please come up. Mean is the status of the group. Always କହୁଛି କିଛି ମନେ ରଖୁନ. So the comparative study, and then you can evaluate the survey whether effective, fruitful, appropriateness, suitability according to the questionnaire that is there. Then documentary survey, without going to the field, also from the documents. Suppose Sarvashika Abhijan, there is a document available in the district level, in the state level. So we have to go through the documents and come to the conclusion that the Sarvasibhya Abhijan is effective in the district of କୋଉ district ଥିବ ବା ସର୍ବଶିକ୍ଷା ଅଭିଯାନ is more effective in Cuttack than Jagatsinghpur or Kendrapada or any other district they compare karibo. That is documents. So through documents we can also study the philosophical study from documents, historical study from documents. So document is the source for study conducting research. Then purpose of documentation is that you will ଟିକେ ବହି ପଢିକି ଆସିଲେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବାକୁ ସୁବିଧା ହୁଅନ୍ତା ଟିକେ a context of descriptive studies in educational research. It's not that difficult. So then we will come to the experimental research 1. ଧୈର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଅଛି ତ experimental research କୁ
Yes, sir.
but yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the experimental research? ଏଇ ତ ତମକୁ କେତେ ଥର କହିବି ସେ କଥା. There is cause and effect relationship in experimental research. We will determine the cause and effect relationship. Certain terms are used in the experimental research. That is variable. The variable, various psychological qualities you have, it's called variable. Intelligence is one of the variable. Achievement is one of the variable. Achievement in mathematics is another variable. Achievement in science is another variable. And so many variables. Variables are two types. One is called independent variable, other is called dependent variable. According to independent variable, dependent variable changes. Y is equal to mx plus c. ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ତାକୁ ଫର୍ମୁଲା ଦେଇକି କହୁଛେ. Suppose reading habit influences the achievement of the learner. The more the reading habit, more the achievement. এই কথা ଆମେ study କରିପାରିବା ନା ନାହିଁ? ଆରେ
Yes, sir.
କରିପାରିବା ନା ନାହିଁ? The relationship between the variable mathematics and English. The effect of attitude on the achievement in mathematics. Effect of interest on the achievement in different subjects. One is called dependent variable, other is called independent variable. Then you have to identify the characteristics of educational research. What are the characteristics? Define concept of experimental design. Find out different sources error under experimental research. Discuss different ways of bringing control experimental research. अच्छा देखो characteristic experimental research page number 27 देखो ବହି ଯଦି କାହାର ଅଛି ସବୁ. Experimentation helps in establishing जोटा कहूଥିଲି causal relationship among different events in educational situation. Cause and effect relationship मन रहला causal relationship under control conditions. Suppose a researcher wants to study the effect of a discussion method on the achievement of learners. The effect of activity method on the achievement of the learner. बुझेला? So this is the cause and effect relationship. Here the main objective of the researcher to know the discussion method brings about changes or effect of an interactive method on achievement of the learner. आजिकल आउ इंटरैक्टिव नहीं बर्तमान कौन हेलानी स्मार्ट बोर्ड हेलानी सब स्कूल रे नहीं सेटा कौन करा
Yes,
होउची
sir.
स्मार्ट बोर्ड रे कौन करा होउची
Smart
हम्म
project ମାନେ ଟିଚର ମାନେ ଟିଚିଂ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି
हम्म
ପିଲାମାନେ ସହଜରେ ତାକୁ ବୁଝି ପାରୁଛନ୍ତି
कौन तक कहवा तकू
ଅ
सर ऑडियो विजुअल एड्स
ना
Blended mode of learning.
ना ना ब्लेंडेड नुहे से इंटरैक्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी
Sir, I feel
effect of interactive technology on the achievement, that is interactive technology. सेते सब जीव ब्लेंडेड लर्निंग जीव ग्रुप लर्निंग जीव ग्रुप एक्टिविटी जीव सब जीव सेते सब इंटरैक्टिव रे interactive technology, that's why these are the components. So while conducting the research, we have to prepare a questionnaire, we have to identify the variables. गोटे है डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल गोटे है इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल आ गोटे है इंटरवेंशन डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल इज कॉल्ड एट टाइम्स इंटरवेंशन प्रोग्राम. Suppose traditional way of teaching and interactive technology used in teaching learning process. The interactive technology is the intervention. Whether the achievement becomes better than the when the interactive technology is followed. Then experimental design. In experimental design, what experimental design will you follow? Pre-test, quasi-experimental design, and a true experimental design. So both pre-experimental design or quasi-experimental design or true experimental design, there will be two groups. Group 1, group 2. There will be pre-test and post-test. You have to find out T1 and T2. So the difference is in pre-experimental design and quasi-experimental design, while making two groups, the two groups are non-equal, equivalent. But in experimental design, the two groups are equal in all respects. So that we call it true experimental design. In there may be a hypothesis, either declarative or statement or null hypothesis. कौन संभावना देखुछ हाइपोथेसिस संभावना आम आगुआ बाहर करवा जे नो द इंटरैक्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी हैज no significant difference between traditional method and interactive technology method in the on the performance of the learner in the teaching learning process. There is no significant difference between boys and girls in relation to interactive technology and traditional method of a particular class. Then there is no significant difference between urban and rural area students in their performance in respect of application of the interactive technology in the teaching learning process. So there are three hypotheses we may undertake, and there only we have to interpret again and find out the whether it is significant or not. So today let us stop here. ଆଗକୁ ଅଛି ସେ ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ କିଟିମିଟିଆ ପଡ଼ିବ ତାକୁ କାଲି ସାରିବା ଆଉ thank you very much. Let us stop
Thank you,
here.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.